I need to try everything for 100 times. If I don't try 100 times, I cannot say the me is the problem. It's other people because it's not me problem. It's the probably delivering people. So I'm gonna keep trying. And that's how this attitude came, that not giving up, because I have to keep going, trying. So now even I teach my kids, if you ask my kids now, how many times you have to try, they would say one word, 100 times before you give them or before you even think about giving.
And so we have Alpesh Patel here. He's a physical therapist. He's an author and he's an entrepreneur with 15 plus years of experience helping people move better and to live pain free. And as the founder of Theravio, he has developed innovative rehab solutions, including a comprehensive exercise kit and an expert back book, making therapy more accessible for anyone. And with his deep knowledge of movement and recovery, Alpesh shares practical advice that anyone can use to feel stronger and healthier. And his warm, engaging style makes learning about pain relief and injury prevention easy and enjoyable. And so, everybody, I'd like to welcome today Alpesh Patel. Welcome, Alpesh.
Hi, Ad, how are you doing?
Hey, doing great. Doing great. Thank you very much. Happy to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, you bet. Hey, what's that thing off to the side of you right there? There's a little on your right.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
That's a spine, man.
Wait, I
Right
can
there.
see it. Okay, there it is.
No, I mean, that's a spine, not mine,
Yeah.
but at least there's a spine there. I keep it just to remind me why I'm in this field and how I can solve people's problem. So always, this is like just front of me that there are people out there need help, and this is a reminder for me.
That's a reminder. And so why the spine, right? You could have anything next to you right now, right? It could be a spine, it could be something else, right? But why did you pick that one as something to remind you?
It's a smaller and it's like a two spine. It's easier versus the hand is a big thing. And I don't want my kids to get scared when they see a skeletal. So I do have a skeletal for video purpose or sometimes explaining people. I keep it those kind of a thing. But this is just too easier. And the back, wrist, knee, these are kind of my favorite subject. So I like to talk hours and hours. And another way is that this is the center part of our body. So no matter if you move your upper body or your lower body, this is always in action. It's like another heart. So this reminds me that this something goes wrong, whole upper body or lower body will get affected regardless. So if you fix this thing, a lot of things can be fixed.
Fantastic. And so we're going to dive more into this subject today. And so Alpesh, I love to. I'm really curious, and I know our listeners are curious to be able to dive into your story and what you were doing, like what your background. But before we do that, can you share a little bit more? And I know you just kind of did a little bit, but can you share a little bit more about what you're doing right now, so that so that our listeners can have an idea of what it is that you're doing and what your expertise is, and then we can start to dive into what led you to what you're doing today.
Okay, sure. So developed a kit, which is like a hand pain. I know I showed you the spine right now, but I create a kit about the hand pain because based on I used to do home care, so I go to patient's house, and a lot of old age patient cannot leave the house, and I saw that there was a one old lady. She had a really difficulty in holding stuff, and she wanted to cook, painting, a lot of different tasks. She wanted to do it, she could not do it, and the family were amazing. So the kids and everyone were involved, and they will buy thousand things. So when one day I went to her house, and I see like so many products there, and I'm like, "What is this product for?" And they were like, "Oh, we bought it for my mother because we want to make sure she able to use it." I'm like, half of this is garbage. Like she cannot even use them because it's is really tough. Even it's hard for me to do use it. So I'm like, this is not something is like, and I think was her sister or somebody just say that, so why don't you make one? Because you're a therapist, you know what to do. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let me think about it. And it happened eventually within a couple of weeks. I had the same experience with a lot of different patients in the clinic and in the home setup. And that kind of gave me a little bit idea. I'm like, okay, let me do a little research on it. Let me look at other products out there. And I could not find which is 100% useful. You always find one or two, three, four product out of like 10, it's not useful. Or sometimes just people, they are not medical background. So just based on the whatever now AI version, ChatGPT asks and say, give me the product list, and probably they just start selling it, not knowing what to do. So I'm like, okay, I have to create a comprehensive, not just a product selling machine, but I want to like an education as well. So what I decided is like, okay, if I want to sell a product or if I want to provide the products, but A, they need to have enough education, like how to use this product. So what I did is I started creating a video. And I'm like, okay, but not everybody can have access to the video. Then I'm like, okay, let me write a book. So then I write a book. I wrote a book about how to cure your hand or wrist pain in 30 days, where I give a step-by-step exercises and like a 4 week plan, like a week one, week two, week three, week four, and with proper explanation, pictures, everything in there. So my idea behind starting this brand Terravio is simply whatever you need a product, I have it to give it to you. You need education resources, come and talk to me. I give you I have all these books, videos, everything available to you. And if you have questions, you can come to my Facebook group, which I have a private just to kind of for this purpose, where they can ask me any questions they want for free. I don't charge anything for Facebook group, nothing like that. So that way, what is your excuse? You want to get better, I'm there to help you along the way, and my goal is to make 100 million people pain free through this way. Now, we just started with the hand. Eventually, a lot of other products in the pipeline, because it turned out to be not everybody has a hand pain. And now people started telling me, well, I have a back pain, I have a knee pain, I have a shoulder pain. Now I'm debating what to start with because everybody's keep pushing me. No, 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 you're going to do shoulder first. And then somebody like, no, 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 you have to do back first. So yeah, it's going to go there. Let's see.
Fascinating. And that's what I was curious about because I was reading your information and I was like, oh, you work with the hand and you work with the wrist. It's like, okay, is that it's like, how are you guided towards that, right? Or like, how is that your specialty, right? Is that the majority of the people that you work with? Are they
And
like the hand and the wrist? Or is it
And
something
it's
else?
funny, and it's funny enough. Now people think I'm a hand specialist, and I'm like, no, I'm a physical therapist. I specialize in everything, not just one thing, you know. But then because I wrote a book and my first kit about the hand and wrist pain, and everybody's like, all of a sudden I become a hand specialist. I'm like, no, I'm specialist for everything. This is like a one kit out of whole body, and next it's coming. So like keep it there. Don't worry. Don't make me don't call me out yet on the hand specialist part.
Gotcha. Okay. Very cool. And so, all right. So that's where you are today. So you're a physical therapist. You have this book, and then you've developed a kit for the hand and the wrist as well. And so you have a clinic or you have a practice, right?
So I actually go to the urgent care center, and I'm like a how would I explain, independent contractor. So technically, I go there, see my patients. I have my fixed patient to see, and once in a while, if there is a needed, because I've been in this field for 15 plus years, you can see this white beard already for that. so so people knows me and they always call me like, oh, my parents or my aunt need a home care and I want only you to go there. And so sometimes I take these extra cases on the side to help them out. But then that, yes, because I just go to clinic, I practice there on a daytime, and nighttime I work and try to help people different route by giving products, education, something like that.
Very nice. And you're based out of where again?
I'm from New Jersey.
You're from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. What was life like for you before you started doing what you're doing today? It's like, what led you on this path to becoming a physical therapist in terms of working with people? Right? When did it
So
start?
that
Was it like at a young age? Or was it like maybe
um
15, 20 years ago? Like what happened?
it's I think it's a funny story. I would say God led me where am I at this moment. I To be honest, I did not know what physical therapist is when I even enrolled in the program. So, people, when I tell people, I'm like, wait, you didn't know what to do and how can you be so good? I'm like, I don't think about that. I just like, I think there's a good quote by Ratan Tata, which I heard like a long time ago. And he says there's no right or bad decisions. There's no, yeah, right or wrong decisions in life. You just take the decision and you have to work hard to make it right. And that's what I believe from my younger age. To make it story short, I'm from India. So I grew up in India. So when I was in India on my 12th grade, I didn't get a good grades. And India education system's funny, but it's different than US, right? So over there, it's based on the 12th grade, which is the, I think, here is what, high school or college? I don't know, but that's like a 12th grade. You based on that, you get to decide which college or which program you'll get enrolled. Of course, depends on the caste, religious, all matters also. That will decide. But I didn't have a good grades, and my uncle, which is my mom's brother at that time, he wanted to be a doctor when he was a young, but he could not do it because my grandfather died in early age. So he was a kid at that time, and he started need to make he need to make money, so he left his education. And then after that, his younger brother, which my another uncle, didn't study well, so they all went back to the business part. So he had this kind of a motive at that time, like a wish that somebody in our family should be a doctor because he saw his father kind of suffering this and that. At that time, I didn't know what to do because I had a less grade. I was kind of not depression, I would say, but I was like so confused. I always wanted to be a business person, engineer, different aspect. He came home and he says, "Okay, I enroll you in this course called physiotherapist. In India, it's called physiotherapist." And I'm like, okay, what is it? It's I don't ask me. It's something with the medical. You're gonna become a kind of a doctor. And I'm like, no, but I need to know. Like, it's about who's gonna pay. It's I'm paying for it. So my dad could not afford it at that time to pay for this private college education. So he's like, nope, I'm paying, but only one condition. I mean, two conditions. He said, you have to work hard and do not repeat the same mistake you did while you were a teenager. And the second thing is, you have to pay me back whenever you make money. I'm like, okay, I like both conditions. And that's how I end up enrolling in a physical therapy. And I remember, like, first day of college, professor asked you, like, same question you asked me. Okay, what make you come here? Why you want to be physical therapy? I'm like, yeah, because my uncle asked me. I'm like, I don't know what to do. But no, funny enough, as I studied, and I just kept going. I kept getting interest, and then during the internship in India, buying, going to the different hospital as an internship, and I see people suffering, and sometimes just talking to them, sometimes just doing a little bit. That time I knew about therapy part, give a little bit joy to them, bring the smile on their face, just by sitting next to them for half an hour, take a lot of stress away from that, and that gives me a comfort, and I was good at giving comfort to the people. So that's kind of aligned with my personality, and that end up kind of pushing me towards getting like becoming better and better and better. And then once I finished my graduation, again my uncle came and said, "Oh, I didn't tell you my another wish." I'm like, "What?" He said, "Oh, I wanted to go out abroad for study, but I couldn't go because I cannot go now, and my kid, and now he's married and kids and everything, but his kids are way younger than me. So like, my kids, I don't know if I'm gonna live that far. So I want you to go abroad." I'm like, "Where I'm gonna go?" It said, "I don't know, you figure it out." So I started inquiring about education system around the world. So I kind of divided between Australia and US, because these two countries has a higher physical therapy reputation based on the practices, and also education wise. So it turned out to be I ended up coming US because I had a couple of friends in US. I knew them. They came back. Now I know at least two, three people. Let me do that. So that's how I ended up coming US, and I did my actually postgraduate from Seton Hall University from New Jersey. So yeah, that's where I studied my master degree, and the rest is the history. I mean, in between a lot happened.
Yeah.
Probably we need few hours to discuss.
And so there's a
Okay.
lot that you shared there, and it's fascinating that it was the same uncle, right? That was the one that was like, "Hey, Alpesh, it's like, I enrolled you in, physical therapy school." He's the same one that was later on. He came to like, "Okay, I have another wish here. It's like the
Yes.
wish to go abroad."
Same one.
He's like,
Same
and he
one.
wasn't able to do it, but he's like, "I'm gonna send, you're gonna." It's like,
Yeah,
"I'm gonna give
because
you an opportunity to do it."
yeah, my mom and my uncle, they were like four siblings, and
Yeah,
my mom was the oldest one. So I'm the oldest siblings in that side between the four brothers, sisters. So I would technically, and I was his favorite because he was not even married when I was born. So he played with me. Yeah, like I was his favorite kid among all the other kids
Yeah.
from day one. So that's why he always wanted his wish that I will carry forward his legacy of what he could not achieve, and even me, because for me he was a god. I mean, technically, even I remember when you were younger, like my parents could not afford a lot of things, but he was a businessman. So in a vacation, like there's like a summer vacation, we used to live in a different city. I'm like, nope, we're going straight to his house. I don't go anywhere else. I just straight to house. I just used to love this guy. It's amazing. I learned a lot in life. He passed away a few years ago, unfortunately, but yeah, he was, he is, and he will be another god to me all the time.
And he was, I mean, it's like, just look at and it was like, it was instrumental in terms of supporting you on your path to where you are,
Yes, yes.
today.
And like I said, that's why it's a God gifted. I can't,
Yeah.
and then that's why I respect whoever I am, the hard work I do, try to help people, and anything I do in life. Just thinking that if he wouldn't have done it, if he would have been selfish at the time, or not even think about, God knows where would I be at this time, or where my kids gonna be there. So whoever I am, and it's my job to give out to the community now and help other people and take his legacy forward by helping other people who really need help.
So you had just finished high school. You finished the 12th grade. And then here's your uncle. He like comes up to you, he enrolls you into this like physical therapy school. And you just finished what, 12th grade, and you said your grades were they're okay, right? So what was that transition like for you? What was the moment that happened, right? Like what was going through your head? Like it could have been like right after he enrolled you, or it could have been like the moment you stepped onto like the school. And then you're like, it's like anything like that. It's like, what was going through your head at that point in time? Because you're a kid that's like, just finished school.
Right. So a couple of things happen in between, and I'm glad. I think probably I didn't share with anybody so far. Probably the first one. What happened is that after giving my exam, there is a time until I get a grade. And in during that time, because I come from very like a normal, like a lower middle class background where we hardly have enough money to pay our bills. We in India, there's nothing system like government pays us. There's nothing like that. If you die hunger, it's your problem, not our problem, kind of a thing. So you have to work hard, or otherwise you're gonna die. Or yeah, that's why it's very social because everybody help each other, kind of a thing. So but there are also bad factors there because there are a lot of bad people keep talking in people's ears. So a lot of people kept telling my dad at that time, and including me, like, oh, you did it, 12th grade, that's enough education. Now go and help your dad because you're doing nothing. You spend all this money for what? And it's true that a lot of people went to the college and everything, and they still didn't have a good job, and they end up doing the labor work. So a lot of people, they give up even before trying, saying like, oh, what I'm gonna do by becoming a completing a college, just a regular college. I'm not talking about like a highly professional degree, but like said MBA. I mean, just like a regular business school or BCom or something like that. And so a lot of people told me to go and help your dad. And at
What
that
was your
time, my
dad
dad,
doing at the moment? Like what kind of work was he
yes.
doing?
So I was about to come. Yeah. So my dad was actually a diamond worker. So you see the diamond in India, there's a diamond factories, or they call offices, where you have to leave. So diamond is like a stone, and you have to make it look like a diamond. So there is a different segment of the diamond, you can call it. So my dad was one of them. So like you get the stone, the first step, it's called like just give that like a round edge from the top and just brush up all the sharp edges. So that's called like a first phase. He was doing that. So he's like, okay, he started teaching me how to do it. Now that thing is a hard. Like you have to put it in like, kind of a heat, like, like a, how to say, it's broiling, and once you take it out, it's hard. You can even touch it. And then you have like a sharp round tool. So you have to make it like so it's like a sharpening kind of a thing, but it's really hard. And because I'm first day, I'm trying to get something and it touched me here. And the whole thing got burned. And that happened after almost after 1 week after going there. And it got burned, and my dad is like, no, you can burn, look. And he started showing me, look how I got burned, how I got, you gotta do it. And my dad was tough in that part. He says, no, you cannot just give up like that. And then this thing happening, And then my uncle showed up when result came. And after 1 week, my uncle showed up. So I already had him in my mind. I'm like, oh my God, whole life I'm gonna do that. Like this thing, like sitting on this one chair. I was looking at my dad, like at that time, I'm like, he's did entire his life the same thing. He hardly can even help his family, forget about anybody else. So I said, how I'm gonna help other people? How I'm gonna help my own family in the future? If my dad had a hard time, I need to do something different than what he's doing. So, okay, yes, he worked hard, he did great. I need to go one step above than what he's doing. So at least my family can have a better life in the future, or I can take care of my mom and my dad in the future that they don't have to do all the work. And then at the same time, I was going through this my mind, like, okay, I don't want to do that. What else I can do? That's where my uncle came. He said, I thought about it and I want you to do this and the whole discussion. And it kind of a clicked it, like I said, God signal, say, hey, you know what? This is a chance to do something different than what you just went through it like last 15 days. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Whatever it is, I'm gonna figure it out. That's why I say I didn't know what is physical therapy is at that time. But I knew that I don't want to do what I just came from. I never want to go back. So this is the direction I want to go and I'll be the best of it. So that's the whole idea behind it.
Fascinating, fascinating. And that's fascinating that at that point in time, like you were able to, you're able to see the difference between the two life
Yeah,
paths, the two life directions.
big difference.
Um, yeah, the one path which is kind of following in the footsteps of what your dad was doing, and working with diamonds, and then the other path which was going towards the physical therapy industry. Um, at that point in time, when you're at that crossroads, and then you're kind of looking at the different paths. Um, I know you said for your dad, right? He was working in this one place in the same chair. Was it a lot of hours? Like, did he have a lot of time to spend with you and your like the four of you?
No, no,
Like
like to be, I mean, we are like
you
we're
and
two
three brothers, is
brother.
it?
Yeah, no, me and my younger brother, we're only two.
I was only two.
Like
Okay.
my mom and they were four siblings. My
Oh,
mom
okay.
and my uncle were four siblings. Yeah.
Okay, that's what it
No,
was.
to be honest, my dad was never there except just whenever we have to buy something and my mom had to ask money. My dad at point didn't even know what grade I'm in. Like that completely was missed out. Even in the college, he didn't know where I am, what I'm doing, which college I am in, when I have a vacation, nothing like that. Nothing.
And
No.
was it because he was why would that be? Like, was it just because he was so busy, or what was it?
Could be a lot of things. He cared more about the society than our own family. So for him, the society is more important. So every time he's always busy with somebody's family, somebody this, somebody happened this. He's always there to solve other people's problem. Never thought about his own problem at home. You know what I mean? So I was very connected earlier age, but then slowly we got disconnected in a way, kind of, because he was not there when we needed him. And so, yeah.
Interesting. And so, did that did that somehow like that happening, did that somehow influence a little bit the path? And I think you kind of mentioned it, but like, how did that influence the path that you're taking, like now, like present day, or even back then as you were like kind of on that pathway? What role did it play?
I wouldn't say that affected me at that time a lot, I would say, but at that time I had a different like a different mindset. I was always thinking at that time that because he's working so hard for me, technically. So until college and until I came to US and I started actually working, I'm like, no, that's not true. You can take time out no matter how busy you are for your kids when you don't think about it's like managing your timetable technically. Instead of going some help somebody else's family, you could be sitting with me or playing with me, but no, you decided to go somewhere else. But in a college or even after coming to US, until then my all motive was to help my families, like because I was more society based, like I want to make sure nobody has to suffer anymore, even on my family like side, like so my cousins' kids or everybody needs some education. I'll make sure I provide them. Nobody should suffer like we went through it in terms of not the, I would say we were poor, but it's a struggling life. You have to struggle every time. Like you want to buy a notebook, you have to think twice to buy a notebook or pen. Like you have to, why are you buying a $2 pen? You cannot buy 20 cents pen. You have to buy 20 cents pen. So we always have kind of a struggle going on throughout the life, you know. So my aim was till then to make enough money that we don't have to think about this part. And of course, didn't think about the helping it kind of starting a business or something later on. But until I started, like first few years, even after coming USA, studying, getting job, my motive was at the end just to help family to do that. And then we had a lot of like families issues in the end, and I learned my lesson, and then you just keep move on. Then I changed my scenario and changed my mindset, and I'm a different guy compared to like last 10 years ago, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And life's kind of interesting that way in terms of like it presents things in our life, and it's just like, oh, hey, that kind of like move us in that direction to be able to maybe change our mindset or make different decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It changed you completely. Things happens, few things, and it changed you. I'm like, wow, was that stupid or something? I could not see this thing, like, and then all things falls apart, and then you just keep move on.
yeah. And so that's fascinating. And yeah, but what's interesting to me as I'm listening to your story is like your dad, like you got both of you were actually serve you both are serving people, but just serving it in different ways, different because people have different people have different values. They have different things that are important to them, right? And so for your dad, like it's interesting observing that, it's like he might not have spent as or maybe in the perspective of you at that time, maybe he didn't necessarily spend as much time or attention with like you or like the others around you, but he was spending it within the community, right? And so he was still putting the time there and still helping people. And then for you, it's like, oh, hey, it's like you're gonna you're doing something similar, but it's like within the family, within the immediate
Within the
family.
family.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just fascinating to to observe that. Yeah,
Again, it's all the mindset, right? Like I always say is that based on my experience also, that there's nothing right or wrong in this world. It's just what you believe. If you believe this is right, it is right. It might be wrong for me, but if I look at your perspective, you're right. I mean, so that's where the people fight with each other or problem happen because you say my right is the right and your right is the wrong. That's where the problem happens, right? But if you look at like a little bit, take a step back and look at other people's perspective, for them, right is right for them. It's just you don't agree with that, So I know it's a little bit confusing, but that's interesting thing. I look at the life that way.
it is, and it is, and I look at it very similar in terms of, and it's evolving for me. It's like it's funny because like what I used to, it's almost like there's different truths to certain things, and I've kind of like I've seen that over time. Like when I was much younger, it's like, oh, hey, this is what's right for me, or this is what I believe to be true or right. And then it's just kind of like evolved over time. It's like, oh, maybe that thing wasn't.
But that's good thing. At least you accepted that it can change. A lot of people, the right means right. They know nobody can change that thing, and that's where the problem happens.
When you had come to the US, right? You had said that you had no connections and
Yes.
you had no connections and you had no money, and then you had to work extra hard, right, just to be able to earn enough to put food on the table. And then there were times when you would just spend the whole day eating only a bag of chips, and that would cost like 99 cents. And then you make sure you drink like a lot of water, right, just to make sure that you could survive. And then so and then you were telling yourself at that point, it's like, it's like, actually, can you just tell me a little bit more about that? It's like what that was like. Was that your breakdown moment in terms of when you had come to the US and you had no connections, no money, and you were just trying to survive?
Yeah, so like continuation from the previous story where my uncle wanted me to come here, right? And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to go, but just to make him happy, I just did the visa process, right? Whatever. everybody, I remember standing in a queue for visa, and every other kid they really wanted to go to study and everything. I'm the one, I don't care, because I was wishing he would say no, so I'll go. Like I say, back in my mind was still to help my dad by working there. If I come US now, I have to study again, means another 2 years I cannot make money. Now I don't know how US works, so it was new for me. Whatever, I got a visa. Now I have to come. I'm like, oh shit. Now I have to go to US. Damn, now what I'm gonna do? I started having a connection, figuring out college, this and that, like all of the stuff. When I came here, I came in Oklahoma, to be honest. And now here's the funny thing. Before that, there was a guy who was in the same like a friends to friends to friends. We got connected. I don't know him personally. It was just somebody invited. And it happened to be going in the same college that I took admission. But he sounded so confident because he said, I have so many relatives in US. I know so many things. And I was like, wow, okay, perfect. My problem solved. All I have to do, follow him and things will get better. And then he's like, okay, this is how you're gonna book the flight ticket. You're gonna book it. We booked the ticket according to him. Now here's the thing. The flight came to Chicago. And from Chicago, we have to go to Oklahoma. He did not understand there is a time difference between India and US. So AM means PM and PM means AM in like a day and night difference. We came here 7 in the morning. We didn't have flight until next day, something. I don't know. It was a 16 hours leg. He missed it.
So your
And
friend was this friend that you met. Was he in Oklahoma at the time, or was he in India with you at the
no, it
time?
was in India only, but it's like, you ask around like, hey, anybody's going USA and community and everybody, and somebody said, yeah, oh, my friend, but he knows somebody else and he knows somebody else going there. And when I spoke to him, it turned out to be same college. I'm like, oh wow, what a coincidence. We're going in the same college. It's like, oh, just don't worry, I'll take care of you. Nothing to worry. I have a lot of experience. I have so many, people I speak to because I never spoke to anybody in US because I never knew anybody. I know some people told me that they are in US, but I don't know how to even connect at that time. I didn't have phone, nothing like that. So I didn't even know, I didn't have their phone number or my friend's phone number, whatever. But so I blindly followed him. And then we came to Chicago and it turned out our flight is after 16 hours.
16-hour flight. Yeah.
Right. Now my uncle gave me money to pay my fees. And my uncle took a loan. Oh, we forgot that part. My dad didn't have money. My uncle took a loan on his name so he can give me money to pay 2 semester fees. And then he told me, I don't have more money. You have to work and get to finish your education. I'm like, okay, we'll figure it out. No problem. I come to airport and this guy, I mean, whatever luggage and everything we have. First of all, I'm scared to help because I have no idea. I don't speak English well. I didn't know anybody. I have all the luggage in India. You can't leave luggage. People just steal it. So I'm like so scared, like people gonna steal it and well, I'm gonna go there. You hear all these horrible stories. And then it was like 8, 9 hours. I did not eat, did not drink. Was reason because wherever I go to that store, they have it in airport
In
so
Chicago.
freaking expensive. Yeah, any airport, like, but yeah, Chicago, I went there and it says 4.99 or water. In my mind, I didn't see the dot because I didn't sleep well. And I'm like, 4.99, $500 water bottle? I only have enough money to pay my fees. How can I buy it? And then I convert. I'm like, I didn't have phone, so I can ask. I didn't speak English. I'm so scared to even talk to people. So I'm talking to myself, where hell I am coming? 500 water bottle. How am I gonna survive in this place? Okay. I said, I can't drink water. I did not drink water for 8 hours out of 16. And then this guy next to me, he go and buy this stuff. And he's come from a rich family. So he didn't care about the money. He buy it. He's like, oh, you want to have it. But I have, how do I explain? I have a self-respect. So if I cannot afford it, I don't use it. I don't do it. It's not just somebody give me. If I can afford it, I'll buy it. So I said, no, no, you paid for it because for me, it was $500. I'm like, you paid $500 for this. No, I cannot touch it. It's yours. You eat it. No problem. And then I think 8 hours after, I saw somebody like bending down and drinking water. Now, in India, we don't have this fountain system,
Yeah, the water
to be
fountains.
honest. No. I mean, now, yes, but
No.
I'm talking about like 2007,
Yeah.
right? So we didn't have that. No, but we never needed it because people are so nice. There's water outside. You can walk and just drink water. You ask any house in India, they'll just give you water. Like you don't have to worry about these things. It's a very social environment. You can go to any random house. I need a water. They'll give it to you. No worries, right? But so again, I'm like, I think I've seen this in movies somewhere. That people drink water like that. What is this thing? I went there and I like trying to play with that, like those like a alien person come to the earth first time. So I'm like testing it, like, oh, and I drank water. Oh my goodness, it's a water. Oh my God. And I checked everywhere. I'm like, is there anywhere like a price anywhere I have to pay? No, and I waited still few minutes just to check if somebody come and talk to me. No, and I saw another guy walk by and I start drinking water. That day, I felt so relieved. You have no idea. Next, another 8 hours, every hour I go and drink water. Every hour I go and drink water. That's how I stayed 16 hours. When I came to Oklahoma, another thing, there's nobody Oklahoma, technically, because it's a suburb.
Oh,
I didn't know. And all you dream is about New York, because high-rise building, California, like, Hollywood and all this stuff. Now I came to Oklahoma. I'm like, where are people? Are you sure we are in US, right? And I started asking. I said, sure, Oklahoma is in US. We are in US. And yes, we are in US. I'm like, no, why look different? I couldn't understand. And then, we didn't know where to go. So I had to call the college, university at that time. And they had a services where they would come and pick up the international student first time. So they sent a driver,
yeah.
a couple of fellow international students came, pick us up, and they show us apartment. Again, it was fancy apartment. I could not afford at the time. So I said, you know what? Let's go to university. I had like a three big luggage bag, with the handbag and all, like five, six luggage bag. I went to the university, and whatever we started the admission process, this and that, all with it. And I found one Indian guy there, and I asked him, I said, dude, can you let me find a space for me, or can you ask somebody who can let me stay for a few days? Let me understand what the hell is going on here. Because I'm shocked that I'm in New York. I thought about New York and I'm in Oklahoma, but nobody's there, right? The second thing is I don't have enough money to pay this fancy apartment money. I have only college fees. I need to find it. So luckily he was nice enough. He's like, hey, I know this guy. They were looking a roommate. Maybe you should stay with them. So they took me, and I remember they were staying like three, four girls and guys together, the girls and boys at that time. And then they made this Indian food, and she asked me, "Do you want to eat?" I'm like, "Please, God bless you if you can let me eat a little bit." It's been more than 24 hours. I ate anything. And,
So that was your first food ever since you from the
first,
plane where you landed in like Chicago and then you
yeah,
had like a transfer to Oklahoma, right?
yes. So I came there, whatever. I did education part, whatever, admission part and everything. And then I went back to the room. I ate something, I slept. And then there was a couple of more guys came afterwards, within few days. And then we decided, all five, six guys at that time, like, okay, let's rent another room in the same building. So we rented another room, and that's how I ended up setting up. And it was still, the college would not start another like 3 weeks. So we had 3 weeks to figure out what to do, blah blah blah, whatever. 3 weeks when the college was about to start, first thing, the I remember academic advisor says, "Oh, you cannot even start your MBA." I'm like, "Why not?" So, "Oh, because you're from med school." And I'm like, "So?" "Oh, this is called a business school. Me, you have to go back and study economics and statistics and mathematics." I'm like, "Why? I already studied in my 12th grade." Like, "No, that's not how US work. This is how it work." I'm like, "But I'm not here to learn that. I'm here to learn business. I have a med school. I want to learn business." Like, "No, you have to learn math. You have to learn." I'm like, "But I know the basics." Nope, they did not understand. And it turned out to be I have to do extra year, 1 year, just to do prerequisite. And then my 2 year program will start. And I'm like, no way, I don't have money. I'm like, how
No,
am I
yeah, you only have
supposed to do
enough money
that?
for what? 2 semesters,
Two,
right?
two semesters. I'm like, how am I supposed to do that? I'm like, no, no, no. And then I'm like, figure it out what to do. Blah, blah. Then at that time, one more friend who we were in the same college in India, and they were in New Jersey, Seton Hall University. And I reached out like so many people, and they said, "Hey, why you went there? Just do your physical therapy part." I'm like, "Yeah, I think I need to continue. I don't want to go into business art because I don't have money." So I applied for here, and yes, luckily I got an admission. And I'm like, that's it. On 3 months, I was out of Oklahoma already. So then I came to in New Jersey again, and then via friends by friends, we found another friend who used to live with the guys and everybody. So he let me stay for a few days, and then a few more friends came over, and we get together, kind of. And then that's how the education started. But so
So were you just like so during that time were you just like were you just sleep on like people's couches and stuff like that? Just like
yeah,
crashing the
like
couch here and here?
yeah, crashing like somebody's house, and then until we found. Now, here's the thing: even we rented apartment, we all came from India. Nobody knows anybody, and nobody has any stuff. So we don't have a bed. We don't have anything. All we had, whatever little stuff we got it from India, which is like some cooking utensils, some like basic. We don't have a bed. We don't have like we have a jacket. So we sleep with the jackets on because we don't have a blanket. We don't have a bed. So we put like my so I this I remember that my towel, like back towel, this was my like bed and comforter both. So half I put it on the floor and half I kind of roll it over me as a blanket. And if I feel more cold, I remember I used to get my jackets on with the hoodie tightened up and then top of the half the towel on. Like that's how I slept like I think a 1 week, I believe so. And then one of my friend who actually stayed just came to sleep with us, and he had a job at that time, and it was like internship or something like that, but he was making money. But he says that, look, you guys home doing nothing, why don't you come? So his company ways to work pharmaceutics, uh they had a picnic in the summer. So he said, why don't you come, there will be a food there. I'm like, oh yes, we have some food to eat, let's go. So we went there, and while coming back, one of the girl, uh she needed a ride home. So my friend who was staying with me, he said, okay, let's give a ride home back to her, and then we'll go home afterwards. I'm like, okay, I don't care. Let's do it. And while coming back home, we were talking about it, and she asked me all this question because I mean she's been in this country for long, like couple of years, technically, her parents, her family, and everything. So she asked all bunch of questions, and I'm like, usually I told her what we go through and everything. And I was telling her like, hey, if you find any work for me or anything I can be helpful, let me know for extra cash. And it's like, no problem. Guess what? That next day morning, she and her brother came with in her car, whole car full of blanket, pillows, bed sheet, everything. That's how I know them, and now they become my close family. Now the she got married, of course. Now she's also RN nurse now, and her brother, who was a teenager at that time, he is a GYN doctor now. So like all are well, like well doing and everything. But I know them when like we all know each other. We were nothing. We were struggling and everything. And
Yeah.
not that at that time, it's not that they were rich. No, the guy, her father was doing a random job. Mother was kind of a working in a beauty salon, like there's the threading and all this stuff for the woman. She was like labor work. Still she sent a whole car full of blanket, pillows, everything. And you have to see our faces. I'm like, oh my goodness, we could not believe somebody doesn't know us. Parents never even met us. It's just a girl we spoke to. And she spoke to her mom, and mom is like, nope, this is you gonna do. And they sent us like a full car of blanket, pillows, and everything. Was amazing, amazing. So yeah, okay, I know I went sidetracked the story you asked for
No,
it,
but that's
but
amazing. It's like you guys had nothing. You're sleeping on floors, no pillows, no blankets. You're using your like towel to like. It's like it's probably cold
like
over there because you're in like New Jersey, depending on the time of the
yeah.
year, right? It's
Right.
like
I mean, luckily we came in a summertime,
okay,
so
yeah.
that was more like a hot, but sometime it get cooler at the night. And just we came from India, so for us it's a little bit cold anyway, in the beginning. But yeah. So okay, so we're moving forward. One of my uncle. Oh, by the way, so continuation that we got that part solved. Now part is how we're gonna make money because only have 2 years of, I mean, 2 semester of money.
Yeah, and you've already
And
probably been in Oklahoma for like 3 months, and then you've been trying to
yes,
pay for food and different things, and now you're in like New. So is it really 2 months or 2 semesters? It's like
yeah, so I'm like, okay, how are we gonna do it? So I asked everybody I could. So I'm not you familiar with the New York, but there's a Times Square area, right? The whole Times Square area. I went to each store and asked for a job. Like, hey, you have a job for me? Please give me a job. I was begging job. Nobody would give me because nobody knows me. Nobody knew me. Why would somebody even talk to me? And I was really was some places I was kicked out like crazy. It's like, get out from here, don't ever come back here, go back to your country and all those stuff, like. But hey, we didn't have option. I'm here. Guess what? I'm gonna stay here. Like I have no option. I can't go back home because I can't afford to pay loan.
What were you, okay, so as you're walking from place to place, right? Like what were you actually like walk me through what you were doing. Like so you're walking on the street and then you see a store, right? Like what's going through your head? Like what's your strategy? And then the moment you walk in, like what, like can you paint the
There is
picture
there
of
is
what
no
happened?
strategy because I could not speak English well. I can't think that much at that time. All I care about, I need some work so I can make some money, But whatever. I remember asking each store, like, so it doesn't matter. I was like, okay, there might be 100 stores here, right? Easily. I'm sure maybe at least 10 will talk to me. Oh, I would say 10 would understand me, five will talk to me, and maybe one can give me a job. That was my idea, whole thing.
Okay, okay.
So I
So you
started
walk
like
in. So you walk in. What did you actually say? I know your English wasn't very good at that time,
I
but like,
said, I said, job, job, job. I need job. Like I'm thinking job needs whatever. I mean, not that bad, of course. It's not that I was not educated. I studied physical therapy in English, but I was speaking. We don't speak as usual because my mother tongue in Gujarati is one of the Indian language. So we studied our whole till 12th grade in that language. Of course, English I could read, write, little bits like speaking part we could do it. So it's not that I could not speak at all. So I'm just kidding, but no, we didn't say job, job, job. But no, of course I said, hey, do you have a job? Kind of like just a basic, like one like line, not like fancy, like oh I'm this, I'm that. No, nothing like that. Do you have a job? And like, who are you? I'm like, oh, I need a job. If you have anything, I do it. Uh, it's like, nope, nope, move. And then go to next door, the same line, next door, same line. And then guy's like, get out from here, go back to your country. Why you come here if you don't know what to do? I'm like, okay, sorry, and go back. Start again. Sorry, go back. Start again. Was a one Indian guy actually was nice enough. He did not have a job, but he tried to find a connection for her. And that I was so happy. At least somebody, after all this effort, somebody was nice enough to even talk to us. And they said, but why you need this? And he kind of talked to us and I explained them, it's like, okay, I don't have any work for you, but I'm gonna try to find somebody. I'm gonna ask in my community or in other people around if somebody's looking for, and you can give my reference. We shared our numbers with each other at that time. But yeah, so yeah, that was in the beginning part, and luckily my uncle. So after this incident, I learned that nobody's gonna give me a job because nobody knows me, and I said I don't blame them. So how should I do it? So I call back India, my uncle, and uncle, I need you again. Find me one person who is in New York, New Jersey area. Let me talk to them. Then he found his wife's relatives, something like that, a longer distance. And it turned out to be there again in a diamond industry. So you see, I'm back to diamond.
the diamond industry. Okay.
Diamond. So he is in a 47th Street. He has an
Yeah.
office and everything. And I went there and I asked them, I said, hey, you have a job? He said, but you cannot work. I'm like, yeah, I never thought about it. I cannot work. So he says, yeah, because you're a student, you cannot work. I'm like, okay, damn, what can I do? He said, but you can help and I cannot pay you, but maybe if you want, I'll get a loan for you or something like that. But he didn't say that. He like because I had to call uncle and everything and whatever we figured it out. And it turned out I can work there and he will help me to buy books, pay my rent or something like that. But it's not like I'm gonna get a salary. There's no salary technically. It's just I'm helping him and he's helping me. It's like a mutual agreement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. Started with that. Thank God I have something to. I don't have to worry about it. But again, education was still. I need to have another few years of education. So it's constantly back in my mind that what else I can do. But funny enough, I don't know if you know the education system of international student. You cannot work outside. You're not allowed. You don't have a work authorization. You're here for education. You can only study here. You cannot work.
You cannot work on the side. You
No,
cannot earn
on the
any.
side, nothing. You can do only within the campus, but campus they don't pay you a lot. Like they pay like few dollars, and that's also like 10 hours a week they give you work or something like that. But those are like the strict rules there, and we have to follow because we are international students. So whatever. One time, so I have exact change. So I leave New York. I have to walk from 47th Street to 34th Street, which is like a Penn station. I take the PATH train to New Jersey, which is a Newark, which is a half an hour, right? From there, you have to take the bus. And the bus at that time, you have to put the exact change. So it's like a 35 cent. You have to have a quarter and dime to put it in there. Like you have to throw it in that thing. It can like kind of whatever, figure it out that we put the money in there. And then it take you another half an hour. So it take me like hour and a half to whatever it is. And then same thing coming back. But coming back, we have just two ride and I come home instead of going to New York, because I used to live in New Jersey as well. And we come late. Like it, our class gets over at 9 o'clock. So by the time I reach home, it's 9 or something, whatever. One day, I was going to the college and I dropped that dime, a 10 cent. I had a quarter. I didn't have the 10 cents coming back. I didn't realize. And I really wanted to ask money, but again, I somehow I never do that, and I never feel that we are asking or begging people. That's against our culture. You can say that we not beggars. You work hard, and whatever you have, you have to live with it. Technically, yeah. So I didn't want to ask money, and I'm like, okay, how am I gonna go home? And I end up walking back. Took me like few hours, nighttime, scared.
Yes, because a trip by itself is an hour and a half just by taking all the
Yes.
buses and
Yes.
transfers.
Took me like few hours for sure.
Wow.
Now I don't remember actually because I was so scared. I'm just constantly like looking down and walk faster and faster. But I did that. And then again, it happened that there was a time when I wanted to kind of, so whatever, like, college fees we paid off, rent we paid off, whatever money is not enough to kind of survive. So there are days where I bought a couple of books. So my college said, "Oh, you need to buy a laptop." Like there's a requirement. I'm like, "How am gonna buy a laptop? I don't have money." Then I go to my uncle. My uncle's like, "Okay, I'll give you a laptop." Now he already bought me a laptop. I'm not gonna ask him money for food now because I'm so shy to ask. So I remember I used to do that. I used to get the 99 cents UTC brand. I remember the brand. This because that's the only brand sells the cheapest chips. Because 99 cents, you get the big pack, like this big,
I
if you
need a big
remember.
bag for 99 cents. What year is this? This
This
is
is 2007.
2007. They
Yeah,
had
it's like
still big.
this.
Okay, that must have been
These
a really cheap bag of like chips that's that
chips,
big.
yeah, don't even ask the taste, but yeah, this big, right? And I'm like, okay, that's the only thing I can afford. So I used to get that chips. I used to eat like 10 chips, 15 chips, 20 chips, like at a time, and then 2, 3 glasses of water, just to kind of fill my bag. And then after a few hours, again, I do the same thing. That that way, we end up getting few days like that. Kind of. That's like earlier age. There are days like we just use like basic noodles. Like that's standard again. But that's like
Right.
1 meal in a whole day. Like we don't have it, and that's like a little noodles among a couple of people. Like we used to do that. But then luckily, thank God, a couple of people started making money. So since we were living together, they took over, so I don't have to worry about now. They take care of the rent, they take care of the food part. But I was a good cook, so I'm like, okay, you buy, I'll cook for everybody, and I used to cook for everybody, kind of. Then, thank God, the life started getting better and better, and we never looked back after
Oh my goodness. That's fun. That's wow. So yeah, there's a lot of moments there. There is a lot of it sounds like there's a lot of moments where things were happening, some challenging moments were happening, and then you could have just like crumbled, or you could have just been like, ah, you could have
that.
maybe just
But
tried it. Yeah.
so I remember recently somebody asked me exact same question which you asked me, like, don't you like it asked, but don't you feel like giving up, or don't you feel like you got tired? Like, what is this thing? But the best thing happened with me. I never had an option two.
You
There
never
was
had the
only
option.
one option.
And what was the option?
So option was to just keep moving and going, because if I go back to India, my uncle, who did everything he could do to bring me here, that includes take the loan, fight against his own family, because he has his own kids growing up. And imagine he's taking a debt for me, who's going US, no idea when he's gonna come back or whenever when he's gonna give his money back. Means he's paying interest rate there while I'm in US, and I'm not even paying him for next 2 3 years. So I'm like, I can go back because if I go back, what face I'm gonna show it to him? What kind of character I am, you know? Uh, and if I go back, I'm gonna do what? Because my half of the life will be go by repaying the debt. So what's the point of becoming a therapist? Was when I'm gonna come up to the life later. When I don't want to be, as you like to say, I saw my dad's life. I don't want to just work to pay the debt or just to regular meal on the table. I wanted to do something different for my family, for my community, or in people in general. I don't care about community in general, like a people who have been struggling. I'm there to help, right? And so I'm like, okay, I don't have options. So every time I got rejected, every time every struggle come, I didn't think about it as a struggle. I think about it just part of the life. Nothing wrong. And because I had a humble beginning from the beginning, it's not like I was a rich kid and then I had to kind of suffer. For me, this was, I mean, we had our own set of struggle in India. This is our own set of struggle in US, right? Struggle were there. It's just the types were different. So I'm used to of this struggle. So that led me kind of like, and then again, we always look forward. Like, okay, once this education is over, there is a hope I'll make money, so all I have to do this one. When I pass my board, there's a hope I'll make money. When I start making money, there's hope I will make more money. So it's always there's a hope for to do better and do little bit better version of me, little bit do hard worker than I did before. So it's always something more to look forward. But there was never an option to go backward because there was nothing left for us to look backward. So there's no going backward, right? So that's why I was telling. Like sometimes you get a two option, like what you want to eat. Now you get a confused. Do I eat $2 chips or I do it $5 chips? But when you have a dollar in the bank or in your pocket, and entire store has only $1 chips, and there's a big pack, you're not gonna think anything else, but just gonna buy it and eat it, right? So
Yeah.
that's the life about, right? We didn't have options, so we just kept going and going and going. And to be honest, I never thought, like, now I think about what I because now I'm successful and I'm scared to go back and do that, and that's why I keep working hard because I never wanted to see those days again, right? And people ask me like, so then how you survive? I'm like, to be honest, I have no idea, because if I had to do it now, probably I won't be able to do it. But at that time, we just had a different mindset. We came just like a new baby come out of the different world and just want to do everything better for everybody. So we had the different kind of energy, which I don't have at this point. That kind of energy. I'm getting old now, but yeah, that was a different time with different aims we had. Yes.
Hey, if you done it back then, you still have whatever it takes to like still do it again.
Yeah, I do
But
it, but in now we going in a different route,
a little
right?
different now, yeah. As
Yeah.
we age, and it's just like okay,
Now, like my struggle is like I said, I want to help people, right? So I
yeah,
like, but if you ask me, okay, go store by store and ask for if somebody need help, I'm not gonna do that,
no,
kind of.
it's
So
different
those
time.
those different, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
different things now. And like you said, even giving up was not an option.
yeah.
So, like I would have given up if there was an option, but there was no
There
option
was no
even for
option.
giving up, because then do what? Like, like I say, there's so much to lose that's not worth it. So there was no, like, now you ask me, I think back, I didn't even think about anything else, just to kind of keep going. And I would not even feel bad. Like, I remember at that time that people used to have racism comments, like you're walking on the street, some people like that. I did not care at that time. I did not listen. Now if somebody tell me that, yes, I give it back. But before, I would go from here to here because I was so focused on doing something different, because it's just not me at that time. I had a whole family back I had to support. So I never work as like, oh, I want to do better for myself. No, there was never an idea behind it. Anything I did to create either my family or my coming family, or like, always that idea that if I have kids in the future, how life I want to give it to them compared to what I had. And then my parents, the life they had, how can I make their life better than they had already? I want to bring it back. So that was the whole thing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so you were just locked in at that point in time. It was just like it's
Yeah.
like to
Now,
the point where the rejections, the people saying it didn't even phase you because you're just like, no. It's like it's like I gotta do it. I'm gonna do it. It's like this is the only option.
now, now that we are discussing, I'm like, damn, I need to bring it back. That old Alpesh never didn't understand word no, didn't know what rejection means. Just keep going, because throughout the life now you become more comfortable and everything, and then somebody says no, I'm like, okay, forget it. That time I go to next door. I go to next door. I go to next door. I need to bring that mentality. Thank you for
Yeah.
reviving this. Sometimes even see I went through it and I forgot about it, like how it feels. Now I'm feeling it, like the energy, like all right, let's do it. Let's go to next door.
You tapped into that at that
Yes.
moment in time. And so the question is, what did you do at that moment, right? To be able to tap into that, right? Because a lot of people, we go through life, and like, depending on where we are in the world or what we do or our circumstances, we can kind of we can maybe sometimes there's days where we're maybe comfortable, we're motivated, maybe we're not motivated, we're just like, all in. It's just like, oh, like so dialed in, so focused. And then there's other days where it's like maybe we're not. And then maybe there's days where it's like maybe a person will say something to us, and then it'll get stuck in our heads, and then we'll just kind of like ponder on it, and maybe we'll be like, oh, it's like, oh, that kind of hurts, or it kind of distracts us. And then versus there's other times where we're just like, it doesn't matter because we're just so focused. And so for you, it sounds like it's like, what was your strategy? What was your strategy at that time to be able to just lock in? It's like, was it the fact that you were just so like there was no other alternative, right?
That's it.
The other alternative was just like so bad, or it wasn't bad. It was just like, it just wasn't the reality. It wasn't the vision that you had for yourself. But instead,
And
like
I,
you had a bigger vision for what it is that you wanted to go.
and to be honest, at that time my bigger vision was just to kind of complete the college and just start making money. That's it. No, like nothing about brand, nothing about helping people, nothing about making millions of dollars, nothing. Like my single focus was make more than I'm making now. Make enough that I can take care of my family back in India and take care of my family here. That was the whole motive. I didn't have even an aim to buy a house. I didn't have no motives at all. I didn't have an aim to buy a car. All I wanted is I can stay in a rental apartment, but I should be able to pay my rent. Me, I should be able to pay my rent. I should be able to pay more for my food. That I don't have to ask money from anybody. And I take care of my family back in India. And that was the only big goal I had at that time. And that drove me till then, because at that time, that was like long, it felt like a long term goal rather than a short term goal. Because it looks, when you go through this time, it looks so far at moment at times that it's beyond imagination. I'll give you example this thing. I don't know if you know, but physical therapy, even you studied, you have to pass the board. You cannot just practice. That's why it's called licensed physical therapist, right? So now our system in India is different than US. So our thinking level on the examination, we have a essay system, and here is a multiple choice system. So essay system, you get a one question, say you write 10 pages. Like you write the whole history, everything, right? Here you get the one question and you have four answers. Only one is correct. Sometimes all four are correct, but you have to answer which is the best suitable for that question. Now, as an Indian education, my answer might be different than what American people think at that time. And I was so confusing. Now, because of that, I failed my exam three times. So I gave exam. Now again, go back to the financial part. I didn't have money. I hardly have money to pay. At that time was like $400 something for education. Like you have uh, to like just to give a test, you have to pay for $400 something. I remember I used to borrow money, $400 to give. Hours, 16 hours a day for almost a month, 2 months. We study, and you fail. Boom, shock. After a few months, I tried again. Boom, fail. Third time, one of my friend in Michigan actually. Very, very good, my friend. He's like, you know what? And he, luckily at that time, the reason I could borrow money because my friend who came after me in US, and of course they didn't have to make money, nothing, because they're coming from like a wealthy family and all this stuff. But they were like really good dear friends to me, and we have very good connection and everything. So, but they all passed their board and they started making money, so they had a decent job. So now the minute they find out, I didn't even to ask, they just put the money in my bank. So that kind of a good friendship we had. So this guy's like, you know what? Because in New Jersey, you're not gonna say he come flying to Michigan. He flew me to Michigan. He paid for that. He said, you're gonna stay in my house. You're gonna do. I'm gonna make sure you get the food, anything you want, every material you want, everything. So he took care of me almost 2 months. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. He buys for me. He makes sure I have all the comfort. Any books I need, he will go to library to buy. Like he said, just focus on study. And again, I failed. And I remember that. Oh no, sorry, my bad. That was the second time he did that. Third time I came back New Jersey, and I was like, okay, I don't have option. This is my last chance. I have to study. And the second time while I was in Michigan, I'm like, yes, I passed it. Perfect, good to go. And my friend is like, what do you mean? You're gonna pass it? I'm like, yeah. The result came fail. Third time when I came to New Jersey, I was so confident that I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass. I knew it. I'm gonna pass. Failed again. I that time I felt that because until then, finishing college was my goal. Now again, the immigration rules. If you are a student, you can only finish your school, and you have 6 months to internship, and then you have to leave the country. Now, the where I was doing internship, they loved me, they liked my work, they wanted to sponsor me, they want me to stay in this country. And I'm like, nope, I don't think so. I can leave because I don't have my license. Well, you can I get the like temporary license to work like a practice. And they were like, nope, you can pass. So I continue like applying it, giving it exam and exam. Third time, I was confident, again fell.
How long did
And
you have to wait in between taking these exams?
at that time was a different. You can give it in a month, not a problem. So this is like I did it like 3 4 months altogether. But I started earlier, but like last three exam I give it in like every other month or something like that. So then the fourth time I remember I was like, okay, let me study Gayson. And I told myself, this is the last time. I don't think so I'm gonna able to give it more. I don't have a chance. And I had like 2 months left before I have to leave the country. And I'm like, that's it. This is the last chance. If God decide, I'll pass. If not, this is my fate. I have to accept it. And that's the time I almost gave up. Gave up means because I didn't have an option again. That didn't go back, and I had to figure it out what else to do. I went to give my exams. I came back. It was 8 o'clock at night. I was 10 o'clock. I came back home after giving exam. This is like 4 or 5 hours exam, by the way. It's not like easy, like crazy. But 10 o'clock, I came back home, and I don't know why. I felt like I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna fail. So I was sitting there. I was talking to a few people at that time, and nothing came. And I'm like, not to think about it. And I just closed my eyes, and all I think about going back India. And I'm like, you know what? Still, there's the 2 months. There is 2 more months. I can't give up. One more try. Let's do it. I'm like, that's it. Around 2 in the morning, I rearranged my reading space, started working. I remember already some questions because I just gave the examination. So I started like this thinking about it. Did I give a right answer, wrong answer, kind of. Then I really knew which question I had a hard time kind of going through the examination. So I'm like, okay, this material I need to read first. I started rearranging, started reading again. 2 in the morning, I'm reading. 5 in the morning, the results came out. Like that was like right away. Now it's different, but that time was right away. I didn't want to say it. And my friend came and it's like, no, you gotta say it. I'm like, no, that's okay. I know my result. And it was passed. I passed it. I promise you, I cried for next 3 hours. That was, I think, second longest I cried in my life, like crazy, because that changed whole life trajectory. If I would have failed, probably I would have given to one more chance. Probably I would have passed. Probably I had to go back India. Like all the hard work was like gone. So I kind of cried like almost 3 hours, I believe, so, nonstop. I said, "Don't talk to me. Nobody talk to me." I closed my door, just cried for 3 hours nonstop.
And what was going through your head at that point in time during those three
No,
hours?
it's like just praying. I just didn't know what to do. I mean, all this thought you had, all this almost giving up kind of a thing. And that's why I cried almost. Like I was almost giving up. I almost ready to go to India. I didn't know what future is. I was thinking about like people gonna talk about like, oh, look at these guys, spend money and he's back to here. I'm like, all this time, all I was wanting to do is help my family and of course the community and other people. I would not able to achieve that. And that kind of a fear of failure kind of went through it. And when I passed it, all of a sudden you see the straight light ahead and you feel like a sense of achievement and a sense of going forward again and recycle it, kind of be back to back in the action again and then moving forward. And that kind of, I couldn't hold my emotions at that time. I remember that. Yeah.
Very cool. That's very cool. There's so many different instances. Like in your whole story today, there's so many different moments in time where your back was like up against the wall, where there was certain challenges or events where you could like a like anybody who might be listening in, they might be like, oh crap. It's like, and they might be looking at their current situation, maybe it compares, and maybe it's like they're just like, oh my gosh, it doesn't even, like, there's nothing, what I'm going through right now is, it's nothing like that. Or maybe it's kind of similar, but but it's like, but there's like, it's almost like today there's multiple situations, and it's just fascinating because what I'm like, for me, as I'm observing you telling this story, it's almost like at each level, at each stage in your life, you had like a different goal. You had like a different thing that you were focused on. And obviously back then, when you're younger, when you're in school, you
Yeah.
had certain goals, you had certain milestones that you were aiming for that are probably very different than where you are today and what your goals and your milestones are. But the amazing thing is, like, back then, right? Back then, as you were like focusing on them, that was what was like most important for you at that point in time, because that was like the next logical step to get to where you had to get next. That was like you had to put this right foot forward and then the left foot forward, because that was the only thing you were focused on. And that was just maybe, and that was that event right there. But you weren't thinking about anything else, right? You weren't thinking about the house. You weren't thinking about, you weren't thinking about the house. You weren't thinking about these fancy things. You were just like, okay, let's just get through this specific moment now. Let's figure out how to get the foot in front of me. And that's what you did, right? And then as soon as you did that with each part of your story, right? Each part of your story in terms of finding the place to live, that was the only thing you focused on when you're finding the
Yeah.
place to live, or when you're trying to figure out how to get to the school, right? Or to the university, when you're trying to figure out how to get food, or when you're figuring out how to
Right.
pass or even when you're trying to figure out how to pass this test. It's
Yeah.
like every single moment, it's just like, that was like, how do I get my foot? How do I take that next step? You weren't focused on anything else. It's just because that was the next logical step. That was the thing that was like, that you had to
No,
do.
it's funny enough you just say that. Like, there's a two incident happen. One day I was telling my daughter about like, she wanted something so badly and I told her no. And then she started arguing and like crying and everything. I started telling like, hey, your dad has to do this and do that, Jan, how like, like whatever the chips thing. And then she like, guess your dad is not rich like my dad. I'm like, ah, I couldn't understand for a second. So
Your
I'm like,
daughter,
you're
your
right.
daughter said that. It's
My daughter told me that
Yeah.
that when I told her about my struggle and what I had to go through it, and she's like, "But why I have to do it, Daddy? Because your dad was poor, not my dad, technically. So I'm her dad." So it's like, guess your dad is not rich as my dad. So she was telling me that, saying that. I'm like, whoa! It took me a second to understand. I'm like, whoa! I didn't have anything to say because I can't. It's like, why you keep telling me? I'm not interested. And the second instance, I was telling you about the struggle part. Like recently, a couple of friends we get together and we're talking about the kids, new generation, and everything. I'm like, look at this different of struggle nowadays kids has. They can't control it. I'm like, now the biggest struggle my kids has probably they don't have a paid YouTube subscription. That's their struggle, and they feel so stressed. Like, oh my god, I don't have a paid version of YouTube. I'm like, you kidding me? It's so funny, like you're telling me like a struggle we go through. So again, like, people think at the level of the stage they are, the struggle is different. But if I ask my kid, sometimes I talk to them, I feel like, oh my God, that's a big struggle they have that they don't have a paid subscription of the YouTube.
Yeah, and that's fascinating. I mean, that's like different generations, different people that have different backgrounds. Like even like the things that are even at this stage in your life and at this stage in my life, we have different challenges that were like, if we look at
Yes,
it, it's like
100%.
that wasn't even like it's like this is insignificant, maybe, to like what might have
That's
been
right.
important or like a struggle, back then, or like a priority.
And and we have to work harder now because we know what we came from. So if you don't want to go back, you can't just relax and sleep, You have to work harder and harder because more things to do.
Yeah, it's just fascinating. Yeah. It's so fascinating, like the like where you came from and like what you had to go through. And I think one of the key things, in addition to the goals and how you were just, one foot in front, you were focused on that next step, right? That next logical step. In addition to that, um, you actually, whether you realize it or not, what I observed is your surroundings, you had good people around you.
Oh, God bless me for that. Yes. I actually spoke to like a last interview I did, and I think it was a different topic, but I say that I think the only time I got lucky is finding a good people. Rest, I always consider myself the most luckiest unlucky person because I end up finding a people around me. Like I said, I found my uncle who helped me. He pushed me to the stage. When I came to US, I didn't have anything to wear. Or just for the fountain part, I saw the guy drinking water. Even I didn't know them, but he opened my eyes because looking at him, I'm like, for me, it was a God signal right there. And I watched him and I went and drank that water. And that pushed me through like 16 hours. I would have died by this time. But then this lady who came in my car or our car at that time, and not knowing us anything, we never met, and now we become a generation friend now, or family friend. Like like she consider me, like her mom consider me as her own child now. So we are like that close together. But I'm saying that if we never went to the picnic, she would never come back in the same car, and we wouldn't have this kind of a relationship. Same thing, my uncle I met here. Same thing, the the people I met. Even I'm talking about like at the work currently, like the place I work. I just went as an internship, but because my boss liked it, the people over there they liked my work, right? And they're all different community. And I'm talking about like Jewish people, Spanish people, Black community, white community. I mean, you can name it. Like they're all kind of a different community there. They all liked my work and they all appreciated my work, and that's the reason I continue doing what I'm doing it. And after that, now, if you ask me, I hardly have any, like when I went to the business and everything, like even now, my closest friend in the businesses are not, none of them are Indian at this point. And that happened and could only possible after coming US, and thank God I'm surrounded by good people and meeting good people. And they are actually honest people. So, people say that, hey, you are immigrant and oh, you're a brown guy and you're immigration and this and that. I'm like, look, you have to accept it. I cannot fight with the fact. That's the fact, and I'm never gonna deny it. Yes, I'm an immigrant. Yes, I'm a brown. I can change my color, whatever, right? But my best friends are Russian, best friend are Chinese, best friend are Nigerian. You know what I mean? So doesn't matter. You can say it because I'm not just gonna define just because of one person for whole community, technically, right? So it's so nice to meet like so many wonderful people around me. And I can tell you, I mean, that's why I always pray God and thank God for that. I'm not sure, I mean, religious part, but I'm a very religious guy because of all the things I had to go through in life. And I think I was lucky enough to surrounded by good people all the time. And every time I got into trouble, God came in a different form of the character or person. Now, I don't care about religion. I don't care about the race. I don't care where you're from. I know that God sent him for me, and I'm there for them whenever they need any help because they helped me a lot. And that's why I'm here with you.
Very cool, very cool. And that's just so awesome to see the entire journey and how you had the right people at the right time to be able to support you on the journey. And it's just it's just amazing just to see it as a whole, right? Just like from the beginning, you had this vision, you had an idea what you want to do, and then you had an idea, then you like go up against like some of that resistance, right? It's like, it's a test. It's like, do you really want it? It's like, and then you're like, yeah, I want it. And it's like, boom, and then you bust through it.
Boom. Yes.
So
I
that's
just
really
go.
cool.
I hope it may help few people out in the world. The main concept is not giving up. That's the main idea behind it. If somebody learned from something today, it's one thing, don't give up. Like I teach my kids, by the way, and oh, one story we missed. How I got this attitude of not giving up or keep trying it. Like I told you, next or next or next or that thing. But there's an interesting story behind it. Before that, like I said, I came to Seton Hall University, and we had this. Okay, we have academic advisor, but there's a receptionist before the academic advisor, so you have to always go talk to her. So if it's a minor issues, she will solve it before you go to the academic advisor. Okay. Now, whenever I went there to visit her, she would never understand me. So first time I said something I want, she would say, "Pardon me." I'll say again. "Pardon me." I'll say again. During that first month, I learned one thing that I thought is not me is the problem. She is the problem because she doesn't understand in the first time. So I learned, and so me trying one time, and I used to get mad that why is she not understanding me? And I used to get depressed. I used to get feel sad that, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? She's not understanding. And I feel like, like a down. Then I realized it's not me is the problem. It's her. She's not understanding. So you know what? Probably she need to understand three times. That's why she is keep asking me three times. So I promise you, I went after that time. Every time I go with the mindset that she needs 3 to 5 times to understand me. So I go there. I go with the preparation. Say the first sentence, and before sometimes she finishes the pardon me, I say it again. Before the pardon me, because I'm ready to say it 3 to 5 times. And I learned. I never felt bad. And that 5 times become 3 times, become 2 times, and one time. And sometimes I don't have to say it. I go there and she understood. So you know what I mean? But that changed my mindset. I'm like,
Yeah.
look at this. Before I was getting so upset that I had to try 3 times, 4 times. But the minute I said that she's the problem, not me, and I was ready to try 5 times, that changed my whole life motive. And that moment, I'm like, okay, I need to try everything for 100 times. If I don't try 100 times, I cannot say the me is the problem. It's other people. So let's say if I'm trying to convey my message to this podcast, if I couldn't do it, I'm gonna try 100 times because it's not me problem. It's the probably delivering people, system, something, something. So I'm gonna keep trying. And that's how this attitude came, that not giving up because I have to keep going, trying, trying, trying. So now even I teach my kids, if you ask my kids now, how many times you have to try, they would say one word, 100 times before you give them or before you even think about giving. So that was the story.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's where that's where that work ethic or that relentlessness came from.
That came from, I know that I think that would match with the questions earlier you asked for it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And it's from that conversation with that the counselor, right? From that, yeah, it's like okay, it's like 3 times at least, 3 to 5 times, and then from there, it's almost like you started to form that belief, like that it wasn't you, it
Like
was
I have
like
to try.
it was understood. Yeah, you got to try. And then it wasn't about the rejection. It's like, oh, one time, it's like, oh, they don't get it. It's not because some people can, when that happens, they're like, oh no, it's like, oh, they
Yeah.
rejected me, or I don't feel good.
But
It's
when
like,
you go with the preparation, that you have to try at least 10, 15 times, so that even couple of times you got rejected, you don't care because you were prepared to even try more. The reason I kept it at 100 times, because every time you learn and you do better next time, you do better next time. I promise you, till now, till day, I didn't try anything 100 times. But just because I have the brain power to try 100 times, I don't give up, but usually it's the 10, 15, 20 times I have a solution. Probably I have conveyed my message. Probably I got successful. Probably I
yeah,
solved the puzzle. It would have done. Never reach 100 times. But
never reach.
because I have this long vision of trying 100 times, it keep pushing me and not getting it back or getting upset like, oh my God, why I'm not able to convince somebody, or why I'm not able to convey the message, or why I'm not able to be successful or help people or whatever it is, you know. So that's the whole idea behind it, trying 100 times, no matter
Yeah.
what.
But it never got to there. But it's like it
No,
just it puts you in that position where it's like it's almost like a test. Like, do you really want it? Is that something that you really want? And if it is, then you got an opportunity to like go for it and refine it each time
that's
to make it better. And there wasn't really, and as long as you wanted it, there wasn't really anywhere to go to at that point.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
I think before we wrap up, I wanna dive back into a little bit more about what you're doing today with Theraville. And so you're working with a lot of people in person, but you've also your focus now is on the hands and the wrists, right? With what you're with the product that you're creating.
Yeah, so like I said, I created first product. It's about the hand and wrist pain. Again, like I said, it's inspired by one of the patients I was treating, and that person inspired me to create something like, meaningful to the community. And that again, like I said, Kate inspired me to write a book, and the book inspired me to make more video content for community out there so they understand. So however they need education, however they need the product, I'm here to deliver the product. And like I said, more products coming in soon, hopefully. So we are working towards hard. Like I said, I even this hand kit, I researched almost 8 months. I probably received 200 products individual before I finalize this product. So I just don't order it. I order quality, testing it on my experience, because I don't want, I look, I don't have to do this. You know that, like, I'm a physical therapist. I make enough money, thank God, and I'm good, right? The reason I want to do it is not just to take somebody's money. Of course, I want to create a brand. I want to create a meaningful business out of it. But again, it's not just taking money. If the kit individually you go buy this stuff, it's gonna cost you almost double the money. The reason I kind of put together, because A, it is very high quality, like a better quality, but it's a meaningful product, not just like dump in the bag. That's why even my bag itself, a lot of people even just say they love my bag because it's like a hard case, not like some box or Ziploc bag, or you give it something now. I want to give which is meaningful to the people, because this is I'm not doing this just to make money. I can make money so many ways nowadays, right? But this is for something to give the value. If you pay me money, I want to make sure it's every penny worth it. And that's why I put myself. I'm very camera shy, by the way. I This is just started because last year, and one of the person I was working with, and the person says, "No, you have to go on a camera." I'm like, "No, I'm so shy." And like, "No, you just don't worry. Go with the motive that you're helping people. If you do the helping, if you have this kind of a goal helping people, it will go away." And it went away. And now I'm not that camera shy, of course, a little bit, yes, but not that camera shy anymore. But again, the motive is always to help people.
That's
So
awesome. Yeah,
that's what it is.
I love that. And I've very similar for me as well. Like being on, I wasn't always comfortable in front of video. And even now, I'm still working through certain elements of that. Or even when I'm working with people in person, there's moments where it's like, oh, it's like I might get a little nervous or shy. But kind of like what you're saying right there, it's like, oh no, it's like I kind of just like for me at least, my strategy is, I kind of zone in and I just like I focus in on my intention, and the person in front of me and what it is that, how can I support them? How can I serve them? And it's like I just block everything out. It's just like, okay, I'll just zone in and just be there, be present for them. And so, yeah, very similar. Yeah, very similar.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. No, as long as once you go through this all like a hardship in life, automatically it will make you more humble. And technically, it that's why we don't distract ourselves a lot, because we know how it feels from the beginning. So, and being in a profession so long, I know what patients go through it. So I kind of mix my experience as a as a life, and also as my, I mean, more my personal life and the professional life, and I kind of mix it together to provide the better value to the people who are suffering. And that's why, like, I didn't say my goal is to create $1 billion like business or X money. My goal is simple: to make 100 million people to be pain free before I die. Like, that's my next goal. And like I said, this is like 100 trial. Some people will not follow me, some people will not like me, but there are enough people in this world who needs help, who deserve the help, and who really, really need help. And if I can make the life even a 5% better, I'm gonna take that chance. So that's what my goal is.
I love that. I love that. And so, how can this? I'm curious. I'm curious because you're talking about the work that you're doing. Do you have this thing that you're, for the hands or the wrists, like nearby you? Like, what does it look like? Like, how does it?
Oh, that's a good. Oh, yes, actually, let me think.
And it's like,
Oh,
what is it? What is it? How? What is it? Like,
yeah.
what kind of people? It looks like that. Ah, okay.
This is like a whole kit. I know it looks upside down in the
Uh huh.
camera, like here,
Yeah.
like a terraria. And when you open it, this is all you get in the one kit. It's a whole
Uh,
bag.
I
Let me
see.
see if you can see it. Right.
Yeah.
So these are like, finger extensors probably. So you kind of are putting your finger in it and just extend it. But if you go in the market, there was a biggest complaint. It's like a tiny. Now, a lot of people have a big hand.
Uh
They
huh.
cannot fit it. So I had to, this is the hardest product I could find because I had to work so hard for this product. Only two manufacturers found who makes a bigger hole, which
Yeah.
you can put the finger comfortably. These are like a, like a
Can you
TheraBand, like
show
a
me
stretch
what
band.
that would look like? So if you have that thing, what is it?
Sure.
You put your fingers in it, and then
Yeah. So like here, for example, this is the one.
yeah.
So many ways. I mean, you can do exercises. So like I said, because I give my book free,
Uh huh.
and when somebody sign up for the, like, get my book, ebook for free, it has a lot of videos how to use each one. So I made like almost 30 videos individually. You can do like each finger first, like this. We can do all together. So many ways you can do, use this exercises, kind of that. And now all different color is more resistance part, like so.
I see.
uh the one is like a software, then because you want to progress to the next level, and that's why I follow my book, because my book suggests, okay, you start with this and then go to next one and next one. And similarly, this one is called TheraBand, stretch band. Also, you know how you like in the leg, like a lot of people get the stretch band, like a bigger one.
Yeah.
Like this is the small one.
That's for the hand. Let me ask you a question for both that and the other one that you're working with. Why is that? Why is that so important to do that? And what kind of people would like? What at what stage would somebody be? In a stage where they would benefit from that?
So let me tell you one thing. We all are very busy in our life, including us, right? We forget the importance of exercises. And when you don't do exercises, but when you continue working, actually you're abusing your body. Why we get old and we have a pain? Because we are abusing our body from young age to old age, technically. And at one point, your body will say enough is enough, and it will give up, right? The main reason is that because of exercises. Like a lot of time, you will probably also feel it that when you have a pain or something like that, they will say, okay, you need to work out, you need to do exercises. Why? You need to make your muscles stronger. Otherwise, what happens is you start putting force into your joint, and that's how you get the arthritis. So this is your joint, for example. I'll give you like, no, I'm sure you're in healthcare, but this is your joint. These are the muscles, right? Now, the joints are always like apart from each other. And these are the muscles. This muscle is strong enough to hold this joint here. The minute these muscles are weak like this, these joints are gonna go crash each other because not enough to hold it separate. And all the exercise you do, all the work you do, because your muscles are not strong enough, all the force, all the load goes on your joints. And that's why the joints get affected. You get arthritis and other conditions, kind of, right? So similarly, I mean, of course, there's so many factors. This is like a general concept I'm trying to talk. That's why we have to make muscles stronger. But now you need to understand, you cannot just keep muscles stronger all the time. You have a lot of pain, you have a lot of stuff. So that's why I give this also like an ice pack. This is ice pack and heat pack, two in one. So you put it in a microwave, become a heat pack. You put it in the freezer, it become ice pack. Same thing. Like I just have different side just to so people understand that you can use it as a boat technically, right? And I gave a cover, so you don't have to get a towel or something because this could be so hot. Sometimes it can burn. So you get a cover, you put it inside, and you can use it right away.
Ah,
This
okay.
this is another one. The finger massager. This is the best part. People love it.
You can
It's
massage
like
her.
you put your finger and it will massage your finger. Your thumb, you massage it. Your this area like you see it massage it because it has a little bit ball here, like a
Yeah.
circular metal. You have this like a round ball. You can even massage your wrist, sometime area like here. So this is like a massage, a self massage, I say. What else? Yeah, then there was stress ball. You can also do it as exercises. They have the putty for exercises as well. Like this again, so many videos out there. You can watch it. I give like some kind of a ace bandage because sometimes your hand hurts so much that you have to wrap it. So even I provide this kind of a bandages as well where you can wrap it. So we have one, it's like a one time use, and this is like more like permanent use. You can continue using it like a reusable kind of a stuff. So yeah, there's so many things. This comes with like a little booklet, has like a little bit information, some kind of basic exercise. Again, this is nothing. I just put it just in case we'll do it. But I think if you look at it, like you see this book here, I'll show you. I have a book too. I think book is more amazing part as well. So this is the whole kit. Comes with the like like a handle storage. You can store it. You don't lose anything. That's a good part.
And
Let
that's
me
the
show
first
you.
of many products that you're creating right now.
Yeah, and that's why it's a hard work because I have to test it. I have to make sure it's good quality. So this is the book.
How to,
How
okay.
how to cure your hand or wrist pain in 30 days. And it has like step by step every instruction, like all the details what to do, and I give individually exercise like that too. See all the exercise, what to do, how many reps, how many times you're going to do everything. It's like a weekly where is the Yeah, he says, I mean, you can ask about week one, like, building a foundation. So it show you like, okay, we're going to focus on the stretching exercise. So we're not using any band, nothing, just like a simple stretching exercises kind of a stuff. So there's a whole book. Um, then I have like here is like a tracker.
Ah,
So
yep.
you can even write it down each week what you did. Like each week, if there's a week one and all exercises, and even the days, like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can put a track on it. And that's the reason I said 30 days because with the basic injuries or basic problem, if somebody does 30 days this exercise, I can almost guarantee you the pain person will feel like a night and day difference.
Love it.
So that's what it is. But again, this is the hard copy. I don't want to sell book. This I got it from Amazon because I sell it on Amazon. But whatever fees there, it's not mine. It's Amazon fees. For me, zero. I don't make any money in the book. If you see this hardcover book, $15 or $8, that's Amazon charging you because they have to print it and they have to ship it. But for me, I make $0. And that's why I recommend people not to buy this unless you are used to doing. Go to my website, just put your email there. You will get all the videos and the book for free in your inbox, like 100%.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Alpesh, how can people, for the people listening in and watching this, how can they learn more about you? How can they find you?
Probably just type my name, Theravio, my brand name, Theravio, Theravio, and probably you can see everywhere now. My team and me, we are working hard to be able to people find it. Now, if you have any particular questions, you feel free to join the community on a Facebook group where you can ask as many as questions you have. And actually, just good that you realize next week I'm going live again. So I'm planning to go live because so many people ask me to kind of, they have a lot of questions. So I say, you know what, let's do live. And every week or every other week, I'm planning to go live, invite guests or something like that to answer people's question about their pain or anything I can help anybody in the community. So yeah, if anybody has particular questions, feel free to DM me, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere. If they need a one-on-one consultation, go to my Facebook page and they can ask me, my Facebook group, and they can ask me any questions they have.
Perfect. All right, Alpesh. As we wrap up, anything else? Anything else that you? No, we covered so much.
So much. And to be honest, never share this information to a lot of people. Probably even people close to me, they don't even know most of this information.
Yes. No, and thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And as I continue to do more of these interviews, you're actually not the first person who said that. Um, and so I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy about these is just to be able to, in these conversations, to be able to pull out information or just experiences and stories that maybe kind of get lost sometimes, but we just to kind of uncover and be able to share it. things that we might not always remember or we might have overlooked, but to be able to bring it to light, because within that there's a lot of power. It's like, oh wow. And I think that's huge, and being able to deliver these breakthroughs, and that's what I really want to do, within these episodes. It's just to be able to
You guys
find those
doing
nuggets.
you're doing amazing, and yes, you're bringing a lot of meaningful conversation. And like I say, I'm back to work already because I almost like, sometimes you don't consider it a bad memory, but because it was not so good memory, because so much struggleful, I don't want to remember it. Sometimes you just lock it up in a closet, you like not tie it up and just flush it away. But now you realize, and if you look at the other side of it, but the only reason I could continue moving forward is because I was going through that. So I'm like, I need to bring that energy back, not the struggle back, but the energy back. And then because of a conversation, I could go back to the time and I could sense the energy. I can feel the energy. So I'm like, all right, that's it. The minute we're done, I'm going back to work.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's just amazing how even within one of these conversations, there can be a breakthrough. Even within like this conversation that we're having together, it's like you had this realization. It's like that's also a breakthrough also. And so that's cool. It's
Amazing.
like for you, and then for anybody else listening, it's like they could also relate. It's like, oh wow. So
Hopefully, at least, like I said, my goal is one person. And that person is already me that he helped me. But I hope somebody else also it may help our from our conversation. They learn something better to do better in life and make successful career or
yeah,
be a better person.
yeah, most
All right.
definitely. Most
Thank you.
definitely. Thank you, Alpesh.